Last time on Improv Tabletop, we took on the role of Indiana Jones' nameless young flat-cap-wearing cousin, joining Indiana Jones on a trip to Cairo back in the 1930s. And we went there because 2 mummies had been stolen from a museum, and that's not how stuff is supposed to work in Indiana Jones. We're supposed to steal stuff to put it into a museum, not the other way around. Well, while we were just walking down the street in Cairo, somebody from a rooftop threw a boulder at us, and we were like, we can't have that, so we ran up to confront the guy, got into a firefight, got arrested by some policemen, narrowly escaped getting arrested by the policeman because of diverging timelines, whatever. After that, we went to the museum, a different museum, not the one that the mummies had gotten stolen from, but dramatic irony, because mummies are about to get stolen from this museum. We ran into the guy who is obviously the bad guy, but they can't let us know that he's the bad guy yet. We ran into the femme fatale who failed to help or hinder us while we were getting into an altercation with a bunch of weird robed cultists, but we finally managed to escape by hopping onto the back of the cultist's truck and getting taken way out into the desert to one of the pyramids. And we were able to sneak our way inside of the pyramid to do some exploration, and we tried going left, and that didn't work. We ran into some scorpions and discovered that using a whip was not good. We had to use fire instead. We went down the next left path, the middle path, and we got stuck in an endless maze. Terrible. Hate it. So that means we only have one direction left to go, the final path, the right path here in the pyramid. What's going to happen? Let's find out here in the world of Indiana Jones and the Cult of the Mummies Crypt by R.L. Stine. You grab torches off the wall of the entrance chamber and run into the dark unknown, through the doorway on the right and into another dark chamber. You search the walls and floor of the chamber. It is empty. There is one doorway on the far wall. I guess we have no choice this time, Indy says. That's strange. Pyramids don't have wooden doors. This door was obviously put here recently. The door is latched but not locked. Indy pulls the latch and pushes in the door. You step inside. It is dark at first. You hold up your torches. You find yourself staring at 2 snarling tigers.
Wow. Oh, dang.
The snarls become roars. Oh boy. I don't think they want company, you cry. These are Bengal tigers, says Indy as calmly as if he were lecturing, because this has to be an educational trip. I can't imagine what Bengal tigers are doing here, unless they're part of the Ramar ceremony. The tigers pace back and forth, staring at you, snarling their displeasure. Your back is pressed against the chamber wall. Let's get out of here, you cry, edging your way to the wooden door, but the door has closed behind you. You can't budge it. Turn to page 65.
Me and him have the same problem. We can't budget.
Yeah, that is truly...
That should have been at the end of this page right here. Is like, can you budget?
Oh, goodness. You both pull on the door with all your strength. Seems to have a spring on it, Indy says. I think it's just jammed, but I don't think we have time to pry it open. Those tigers look hungry to me. The tigers have stopped pacing. They raise back their heads and roar out a final warning. They're about to attack. Indy pulls his bullwhip off his shoulder. We can either try to teach them some manners with this, he cries, or try to keep them back with these torches while we work on prying the door open. You must decide how you defend yourselves against the hungry tigers, the bullwhip or the torches.
All right, here's my thing. There are no tigers in Egypt, so these have to have been brought in, so they have to be, at least they're probably trained. Mm-hmm. I'm saying the bullwhip is going to have great effect.
I would agree.
Okay.
And I also, in Last Crusade, that's how he got his scar on his chin, was because he was whipping to tame the lion.
That's true.
Okay.
Flashback.
We're going to go circus up on here. Indy lifts the bullwhip and cracks it loudly. He raises it again and snaps it over the head of one of the tigers. Unfortunately, the tigers are not afraid of the whip and its sounds.
Oh.
Dang it.
In fact, it angers them even more. They are too hungry to care about a little insignificant whip cracking. You, on the other hand, will probably lose your appetite if you keep reading.
Oh, gosh.
Just broke the fourth wall.
Perhaps this unfortunate episode has given you food for thought. Open the book again when you are hungry for adventure and ready to make some better choices. The end.
Okay, not only do we have to lose, it has to, kick us when we're down.
Wow.
Yeah, that one just roasted us.
It's you should have made a better choice.
That was one of the most severe burns I have received in quite a while. Holy cow.
R.L. Stine, he means business when he's writing this book. He's just you should have been smarter.
All right, so we're starting to Actually, I'm trying to notice if there is a pattern here. Like, the whip worked on the bats, but the torches work on scorpions and tigers. So I was like, is it vertebrates or invertebrates? But no.
No, I think the pattern here is, if you've seen the movies, don't do anything Indiana Jones did, because every time I made a choice based off of what he would have done, I lose.
That's honestly probably a good strategy because it's trying to keep us on our toes.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the new rule. Do the least Indiana Jones thing possible.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to use our torches instead of the whip and go to page 114.
This is what the book's really trying to teach you, because it's like guys like me who's like, man, I really wish I could be Indiana Jones. They're like, no, you shouldn't try to be Indiana Jones. You need to be you.
You would fail.
Yeah. You be you.
Young kid reading this book, how about you stay in your lane?
Maybe the real Indiana Jones is the lessons we learned along the way.
Yes. Agreed.
All of the questions that we asked ourselves, just peering deep into our own psyches.
I feel so edified after this. Let's continue. Listeners,
Yes.
continue to listen with us.
You hold the flaming torches in front of you and try to stare the tigers down. I don't know if the whip would scare them or not, Indy says, staring straight ahead, but I do know that all animals are afraid of fire.
Oh, okay.
Indiana Jones, why didn't you tell us that before?
I guess the reason why the whip worked the last time was because we didn't happen to have any fire handy, but whenever we do have the option to use fire against an animal, always use the fire. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Always use fire, kids. Remember that. Always use fire.
Such an educational trip we're going on. Indy takes a step forward, then another. The tigers retreat. I'll hold them off, he tells you. See if you can find out what's got that door stuck. He thrusts the torch forward. The tigers retreat even more, snarling their displeasure and fear. You are happy to turn away from the tigers. You bring the torch over to the doorway. You run your hand along the bottom, then along the sides. You cannot find anything. Again, you try pulling with all your strength. The door doesn't budge. You give one more desperate heave, and the door moves a fraction of an inch. I got it to move a little, you call to Indy, but I have an idea. Why don't I take the torch and set the door on fire? That'll get us out.
That's
Always use fire,
yeah,
right?
always use fire, kids.
Second rule, always use fire.
Yep. Indy is too busy keeping the tigers at bay to hear you. You must decide what to do. Do we keep pulling at the door now that you've gotten it to move a little, or do we burn the door down and make a fast exit?
Burning the door down would not be faster.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like we have decided that using fire is the best way to go.
Have we?
Are we going to test that theory?
Okay, prediction. If we choose to burn the door down, we're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Either the smoke is going to fill the small chamber and we're going to pass out, or something.
Yeah, I feel like every time we have made a decision to be like, I'm going to prove to my cool cousin Indiana Jones how capable I am, it has not worked out well for us.
That's right. What would
What would Jonesy do?
what would Jonesy not do is what we're trying to say.
That's true.
WWJND.
Oh man, I'm honestly torn on this one. I feel like it's kind of arbitrary at this point which one's going to end up with us dying to a whole bunch of tigers, which I thought it said there were only 2 tigers,
That's what I thought too.
but this illustration definitely shows 4 tigers.
Wow. Yeah, there's 4.
Maybe the illustration, like the guy who drew the pictures didn't read the book. He was just like, they just said put tigers in there.
That'll get you.
Yep.
I got a D6 here. Odds, we burn the door down. Evens, we keep pulling.
Okay, yeah. I just want to burn the door down because I think it's a dumb idea.
Yep. I know. I want to test the theory.
Yeah.
Let's just go with it then. We're going to burn this door
Yeah.
down.
See if fire is always the right thing to do.
Okay. You hold the flame of the torch up to the door. The dry wood catches fire immediately. The door burns quickly. You kick it in, and the burning wood shatters and falls to the ground. Holy cow.
That worked. That's so dumb.
Like, the flammability of this wood to burn sufficiently enough for us to kick it down within like a few seconds.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
This is like video game logic here.
Dude, it gets even better. Except for a few small smoldering pieces of wood, the fire disappears almost as quickly as it burned.
I'm telling you, we've learned what he's thinking now. Fire is good.
Fire is always the solution.
Don't do what Indiana Jones would actually do and use fire.
Fire is what gave Mowgli power over the animals in the Jungle Book.
Why didn't we think of that when we were just like, use the whip or use fire? That's like what Shere Khan's like one fear was fire.
Ned, will you, just to scratch my itch of curiosity, do we die if we keep trying to open the door?
Okay, yeah, let's turn to page 102 and see what happens. You keep pulling at the door, but you can't make it budge another quarter of an inch. Then, just as you suggest that maybe you and Indy should trade places, the torches go out.
Oh.
This isn't good news for you. Of course, with no lights, the tigers can't see you too well. It'll probably take an extra 30 seconds or so for them to find you in the dark. Perhaps you should use that 30 seconds to close the book. This adventure is about to come to a truly tasteless conclusion.
All right.
So we're learning. We're learning. Fire good, Indiana Jones bad.
Fire good. All right, so the fire burns the door to absolute smoldering ashes in the space of a few seconds. Okay, we can get out of here, you call to Indy. Nice going, kid, he says, finally turning away from the tigers who pace back and forth against the far wall. But we've got one little problem. If we leave, what's to keep the tigers from following? Indy has a good point. Maybe burning down the door wasn't such a good idea.
That's what I was thinking.
Stop right there, a voice cries from outside the chamber. Shamir, I have found the two Americans. Through the doorway, you see a black-robed man running toward you, pistol in hand. Turn to page 56.
Ooh.
The black-robed man bursts into the chamber, waving the small black pistol in his hand at you and Indy. Dirty invaders of the sacred hall of Ramar, prepare to die, he yells. You and Indy step to the side and lower your torches. The tigers immediately attack the man.
Oh, dang.
As they leap onto him, you turn away. You do not wish to see them make their meal. Let's go. Now, Indy yells. The tigers do not look up as you and Indy run out the door. You run blindly through a long, low tunnel. You run until you see a dim light. Then you run toward the light, which turns out to be the torches of 4 other black-robed men.
Oh, man.
They grab you both and tie your hands behind you. Take them to the new pharaoh, one of them cries, shoving you forward toward the entrance to a vast, brightly lit chamber.
The new pharaoh. It's going to be Salam.
Yeah, it's Salam.
Yeah, it's, this was the era when they were like, maybe we could try rebranding. We had New Coke, and now we got the new pharaoh. The chamber walls are covered with bright orange and red tapestries depicting the splendor of ancient Egypt. A long orange carpet runs down the center of the vast room. It leads to a straight-backed gold throne. On the throne sits a fierce-looking man with long black hair. He is wrapped in a sparkling white robe. He carries a golden scepter, and on his head he wears a crown of gold with green and red jewels. Bow before the new pharaoh, a voice yells behind you. Rough hands shove you down to the floor. You raise your head and look around. The room is filled with servants of the new pharaoh, all dressed in black robes. Sorry to crash your costume party, Indy yells to the man on the throne, but I believe you may have mistakenly taken a few things that belong to us. A few mummies, to be exact, that our people took from your people long, long ago, and you took them back, and we're not happy about that.
It belongs in a museum.
Doesn't this guy know the rules of finders keepers?
Do not dare to speak to the new pharaoh, the voice behind you cries, and hands shove Indy's face into the floor. Shall I kill them now, Emperor? Turn to page 35.
Emperor.
The new pharaoh slowly rises from his throne. All the black-robed servants in the chamber bow their heads twice and then chant a short prayer in what must be an ancient Egyptian language. You'll notice for the first time that there are mummies standing upright in open mummy cases on both sides of the new pharaoh's golden throne. Okay, one thing that I do know about Indiana Jones is that there's always a little bit of mysticism that's brought into the situation.
True.
What I'm wondering is, do we think these mummies are actually going to start moving or not?
I think if we're going by what Indiana Jones movies, they're going to come alive, but they're going to end up killing everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That the mystical powers that the bad guys are meddling with will often turn on them.
Which is why a lot of people joke that any of the Indiana Jones movies, if you remove Indiana Jones, wouldn't actually change the plot.
Yep, it's kind of true.
Yeah.
But what about Indiana Jones's flat cap wearing teenage cousin?
Let's find out.
The chamber grows silent as the new pharaoh begins to speak in a powerful voice that echoes off the ancient brick walls. The invaders of the sacred hall of Ramar must die, the new pharaoh yells, raising his scepter above his head. I have not taken anything of yours, American thief. I have reclaimed my ancestors. All of our ancestors will return home, and all of our ancestors will return to life, to help me as I lead, to serve me as I reign. For I am the new pharaoh of Egypt, and the new pharaoh will lead the people of Egypt, the ancient people as well as the people of today, to our place of sovereignty over the world. Indiana Jones goes, you know what, actually, you've made me rethink some of my colonialist ideas.
I know, I'm sitting there, I mean, is he really all wrong, though?
Right.
So it's not so much the fact that they've taken the zombies, it's the fact that they want to reanimate the dead and take over the world. That's the part I take issue with.
It's a little bit morally ambiguous, you might say. A long, ear-shattering cheer rises up from the servants. He's nuts, you yell to Indy. Kid, you are a master of understatement, Indy says. The question is, do we try to make our escape now, or do we wait until King Baloney comes a little closer to us?
I turn to him and I'm just like, Indiana Jones, why are you asking a kid?
Do we try to escape now, or do we wait until we can grab the new pharaoh?
Grab him.
Yep, grab him.
All right, turn to page 86. Lock them up in the tomb of Ramar, the new pharaoh commands. He raises his scepter high in the air. I will allow you to spend eternity in the resting place of our great leader. Very generous of you, Indy calls out. He turns to you. Kid, I think we better make our break now. Indy shoots back his elbows and breaks the grasp of the black-robed servant holding him. The servant holding you makes an unsuccessful grab for Indy, leaving you free to escape. Indy runs at full speed down the carpet toward the new pharaoh, knocking guards out of his path. You try to follow him, but you are quickly caught by a group of guards. Indy gets almost to the platform where the new pharaoh stands, his scepter still in the air, but he is tripped, falls to the ground, and is captured once again. Insolent dogs, the new pharaoh cries angrily. Now I will make you wish you had not attempted to defy my will. Turn to page 67. You and Indy are tied to pillars in the center of the chamber. You will watch as I bring our ancient ancestors to life, the new pharaoh yells down at you. And when the mummies walk, they will step forward to put you to your deaths. He's gotta be kidding, Indy mutters to you. I don't suppose you have a plan for getting us out of this? You ask hopefully. Not at the moment, Indy replies. A large fire has been built. The new pharaoh has begun chanting. He holds his scepter over the head of each of the mummies in the chamber. Large leaves are burned in the fire. The new pharaoh chants again, and then he speaks. Now all will witness the miracle of rebirth. My powers will triumph over death. The dead shall walk. Our ancestors, the pride of ancient Egypt, will walk forward and defeat our enemies. He calls out a final command to the mummies. The chamber is silent. No one moves. All eyes are on the mummies. Will they walk?
Does it say that?
It says that.
What?
All right, listeners, now you need to pause the podcast and think to yourself, will they walk?
And you just think to yourself, in what situations might it be more helpful if you were to walk?
Yeah.
Sometimes we find ourselves in places where we shouldn't be, and we really should walk.
Do you need to walk away from a bad situation, from a partner who doesn't love you?
Perhaps you are being imprisoned by the new pharaoh, and you need to get out there. Will you walk? Walk, mummies, walk, ancestors, live again in the new Egypt, in my new Egypt. The new pharaoh waves his scepter. His words echo off the ancient walls. The mummies remain stiff and unmoving, frozen in the positions they have held for 4,000 years. Another wave of the scepter. The mummies do not move. Silence. The silence is broken by an angry cry from the throng of black-robed servants and guards. The new pharaoh is a fraud! We have been betrayed! Others take up the cry. Weapons are raised. The new pharaoh is captured. A guard grabs his scepter. You turn away as the new pharaoh is beaten again and again with his own scepter.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
Someone releases you and Indy. Let's get out of here, Indy calls over the angry cries of revolt in the chamber. A black-robed guard leads you out of the chamber to a small room where Dr. Salam has been held prisoner.
Oh, man.
Salam looks weak, but he is conscious and very glad to see you. A few minutes later, you are on your way back to Cairo. The screams of the rioters still ring in your ears. We'll pick up our mummies when the rioting is stopped, Indy says, definitely pleased with the results of the day. I guess they won't come walking to find us. The end.
Is that really how it ends?
That's how it ends.
We won.
We won.
Yeah, we did it.
We beat the book.
Great.
That's a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, a little bit dissatisfying, you might say.
The dame didn't even show up again.
Right? Just like the merest bit of set dressing at the beginning of the book. Okay, let's look back at our last decision point. That was when we waited until we could grab the new pharaoh. What if we tried to escape instead?
I bet the tigers are going to jump out somewhere.
No, the dame is going to jump out and grab us and throw us to the tigers.
Yeah.
Okay, we try to escape. With lightning speed, Indy rolls over and grabs the ankles of the servant behind him. He pulls. The man falls over backward, and his pistol hits the floor and bounces away. Indy makes a grab for it and misses. 4 black-robed men leap onto Indy's back. They punch him with their fists, pounding furiously again and again until Indy is nearly unconscious. The escape attempt has failed. You and Indy are dragged down a long carpet until you're a few feet in front of the new pharaoh, who stands before his throne, staring down angrily at you. You cannot escape the wrath of Ramar, and you cannot escape the fate chosen for you by the new pharaoh, he bellows. Prepare them for mummification.
Oh boy.
Oh, dang.
This escalated quickly. Servants pull you to your feet. A section of the floor begins to move. The floor pulls back, revealing a deep pit. Servants enter from a chamber behind the throne. They are pulling a tall cart. The cart is filled with boiling tar. Afraid? Asks the new pharaoh mockingly. I will bring you back to life once you have been mummified. You will serve me well. Perhaps we should just forget the whole thing, Indy calls up to him. You know, let bygones be bygones. Put them in the pit, the new pharaoh commands. Turn to page 105. Listen, why don't you just keep the mummies, Indy suggests, beads of perspiration running down his face. We'll just go home and forget the whole thing and instruct the rest of our colleagues that, realistically, the way that we've done stuff in the past hasn't been that great. 6 servants grab you and lead you to the edge of the pit. Prepare to join our ancestors, the new pharaoh cries. A triumphant cheer fills the ancient chamber. The servants shove you both into the pit. You hit the bottom hard. You are surprised to find that the pit is only about 6 feet deep. Oh, just like a grave.
Oh.
Deep enough, Indy says grimly. We only have one hope now, kid. What's that? You ask, your voice trembling. That he really can bring us back to life once we're mummified.
What?
Dang.
Above you, you can see the cart containing the boiling tar being pushed closer and closer to the pit. The cart comes to a stop right above your heads. It begins to tilt. You can see the bubbling black tar about to pour out. Turn to page 97.
Oh.
That was a great scream, Ned.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Who screamed? Indy asks. Not me, you insist. You reach up, grab the top of the pit, and pull yourself up so you can see what's going on in the chamber. It's the tigers.
Oh.
It actually was the tigers.
The tigers all along.
Oh, wow.
The real dame was the tigers we met along the way.
Yeah.
The 2 Bengal tigers, the two Bengal tigers that it says in the narration, as opposed to the 4 that we saw in the illustration. Okay, the 2 Bengal tigers must have followed the voices to the new pharaoh's chamber, and they still seem to be hungry. 1 black-robed servant lies bloodied and maimed on the carpet. The tigers prowl, looking for their next victim. The room is filled with screams of terror as servants run in all directions. The new pharaoh stands frozen in fear. The tigers are eyeing him now. What will you do? Stay in the pit till the tigers have had their meal, or use this opportunity to escape?
I feel like we should try to escape.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything good if you stay in their pit, but I mean, then again, we didn't know the tigers were going to come back, so.
That's true. In a surprising turn of events, the tigers have been more helpful for us than we ever expected them to be. So, I mean, maybe we just let them do their thing and be like, hey guys, you have fun doing that. I'm gonna skedaddle on out of here, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, let's turn to page 6. You and Indy pull yourselves out of the pit. The tigers have chosen another victim. A man screams and falls beneath their claws. Shots ring out. They miss the tigers and ricochet off the ancient walls. The new pharaoh still stands frozen in terror. Indy rushes up behind him and grabs him. You pick up a gun from a fallen servant. Okay, let's get going, Indy yells. Indy stands behind the new pharaoh, using him as a shield. This worked for us the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Quickly, you make your way through the throng of terrified servants. You walk out of the chamber, shoving the new pharaoh in front of you. He seems to have crumbled completely in the face of his cowardice. You make your way through the torchlit tunnels of the pyramid toward the entrance and run into Marla Evans.
There she is.
And several Cairo policemen.
Yes.
There she is.
We found Dr. Salam. They were keeping him prisoner in another chamber, she says. Are you okay? Peachy, Indy tells her. Tell your cop friends they've got a couple of tigers to arrest in there. He turns to you. Guess this adventure is just about over, kid. You frown and look up at him. Gee, Indy, what do we do next? The end.
I mean,
That was more satisfying than the other way.
more satisfying than the other one, but yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of narrative payoff, but I feel like there's still got to be like something where we are the heroes of the story.
So the only other option we had was to stay there.
Yeah, we can wait out the tigers. Should we give that a try?
Let's try that.
Yeah.
Okay, turn to page 63. Like, it would be so cool if we could end this actually having done something of meaning. Ouch! With 4 exclamation points. Did you forget about the hot tar that was beginning to pour from the cart? Too bad. Staying in the pit put you in a rather sticky situation and brought this adventure to its burning conclusion.
All right, well, okay, we figured that one out then, I guess.
Yep. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. So we had waiting the tigers out versus trying to escape. Before that, the decision was, do we try and escape now or wait until we can grab the new pharaoh? We've already explored all of those threads. Before that is pulling the door versus burning down the door. We already know what happens if we try to pull the door instead of burning it down. So we've got to go back pretty far in the tree here. Use the bullwhip or use the torches. We definitely got to use the torches because all animals fear man's red flower or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Okay, the middle doorway or the doorway on the right. We know it has to be the doorway on the right. Wow, we're going back like surprisingly far here.
I was gonna say, I can't imagine that there's anything different because at this point, the only thing we didn't do was we didn't wait with the doctor is the only choice I remember.
Well, I know that there's 20 endings in this book, and we've only hit maybe half a dozen of them or so.
Oh, I did not know there was 20 endings. Okay.
We could go back and wait under the truck instead of going into the pyramid and see what happens.
Follow the trail back to that point. Okay, yes, climb under the truck or run to the pyramid. So if we climb under the truck, we turn to page 84. Let's go for it. You hit the sand and squeeze under the truck. The bottom of the truck is as hot as the desert sand. You feel as if you're being toasted on both sides, but you have no time to think about how uncomfortable you are. You lie as still as possible and pray that you won't be seen. From your vantage point, you see the sandaled feet of the men in black robes as they climb out of the truck. These must be the cult members that Salam had begun to tell you about. Some of them walk directly into the low, dark entrance to the pyramid. Others struggle to remove something from the truck above you. The stolen mummies. You watch in silence as the ancient mummies are gently placed on the sand and then carried toward the pyramid. Almost all of the cult members have entered the pyramid now. In a few seconds you will be safe, you tell yourself. And then you sneeze. Turn to page 112. Great.
Curse our weak constitution.
What's in the sand, Pepper?
Sorry, Indy, you say sadly as the two of you are led into the pyramid at gunpoint by 3 of the black-robed men. That's okay, kid, Indy says. At least you got us a guided tour of this place. Flaming torches light the walls of the pyramid chamber, casting gray, flickering shadows on the ancient brick walls. It smells so musty, you say, coughing in the dusty air. Yeah, that's the thing about buildings that are a few thousand years old. They get musty, Indy says. Shut up, one of your captors yells in English. In English? You don't say! Shut up, he yells in English, pushing the nose of his pistol into Indy's back. Now the only sound is that of your shoes scraping against the dusty floor as you walk through the low-ceilinged passages. You watch Indy's eyes as you walk deeper and deeper into the ancient pyramid. He is looking at the flaming torches that line the walls. Is he about to grab one and use it in an escape attempt? Wouldn't it be smarter to wait until you see where they're taking you? Especially since the 3 men have guns and are walking less than a foot behind you? You must decide. Do we grab a torch and try to fight them, or play it safe and wait a while?
I mean, fire is apparently the...
Fire is the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta grab that torch. Okay, turn to page 100. That's a good round number. I feel good about that number. Grabbing the torches and using them to fend off your captors might have been a good idea, except for the unfortunate fact that the torches were built right into the wall. Okay, so some of the torches can be removed from the wall, but some of them are just set dressing.
Now the book's gonna say you're so dumb for not knowing that.
Idiot.
You gave the 3 black-robed men a good laugh with that one. They also seemed to enjoy tossing you into the bottomless pit, one of the more dangerous attractions in this particular pyramid.
There's a bottomless pit?
A bottomless pit, apparently.
Jeez.
It was a good day for them, and a bad day for you, unless you get a thrill out of falling forever. Perhaps next time you drop into the pyramid, you will fall into better luck. Okay, so this is where we're getting the mystical part, actually, is the fact that this legitimately is a bottomless pit.
You have 2 options when it comes to pits. 6 feet deep or bottomless.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, well, the internal logic of this book has failed us. The torch is not all... It's, you know what? All animals fear fire.
Not all people?
But is man an animal?
Asking the real questions.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I suppose we can play it safe and wait a while on page 13. A very lucky page. Your 3 captors lead you through a dark, twisting passages of the pyramid into a large, well-lit chamber. In the center of the chamber stands an altar surrounded by pots of fresh, white lilies. To the left of the altars stand 6 ancient mummies, all in their cases.
We have not been here before.
We have not. This is a new well-lit chamber.
I assumed that they would just take us straight to the Pharaoh and all that stuff.
Watch, like, one of the endings is going to be like, we just took the mummies and then ran, and that's like the only one time that you get to keep the mummies is when you just run with them.
There are the 2 mummies from the National Museum, Indy mutters to you. His voice echoes off the wall of the chamber even though he speaks quietly. I recognize some of the others. They're all stolen. Behind the altar stands a large black pot suspended over hot coals. A thick liquid simmers in the pot. Whatever could it be? Next to the pot stands another mummy. As your captors force you to walk closer to the altar, the mummy turns and begins to walk towards you.
Yes.
Okay, we have found the beast. Turn to page 79.
This is what I've been waiting for.
And whom have we here? The mummy asks. His voice sounds familiar, but I don't know who it is yet, so I don't know which voice to use. I guess we'll continue on for a bit.
You have to do Sean Connery. That's the only voice that would sound familiar to him right now.
And whom have we here? Should we take votes on which character we think it is?
It's the doctor.
Dr. Salam.
All right, you think it's Dr. Salam?
That was my original thought, that he's doing that to escape. Like we've caught him in an escape attempt.
Okay. You can't get away with this, Indy yells. That's a very clever costume you're wearing, but you're not clever enough to get away with stealing these mummies. Ha 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 ha! The mummy gives a long, dry laugh. How convenient that you have come. Come closer. I won't harm you, for a while. Ha ha ha! The cult members force you to walk up to the man in the mummy costume. Indy, I know I've heard that voice somewhere, you whisper. Through the dirty brown gauze that covers his face, the mummy's eyes peer deeply into yours. Your sacrifice will be great, but the scientific achievement will be greater, he says, staring at you. The sacred mummies of our ancient motherhood will once again walk the earth in all of their majesty. And just what will we be sacrificing? Indy asks defiantly. Your brains, the mummy replies. Let the operation begin at once. He turns to his men. Bind them both to the altar. Prepare to transfer their brains into the chosen bodies of our beloved ancestors.
Makes sense.
Turn to page 101. This is just the most sound of science that we're dealing with here.
Joke's on you, I'm 13 years old and I have no brain.
My brain's not fully formed yet. Joke's on you.
You're nuts, Indy yells, struggling to get free of the mummy's men. The cult of Ramar tried for centuries and never succeeded in bringing a mummy to life. The formula they used was incorrect. I have the correct one. And now I have the fresh brains I need to complete our first experiment. The man in the mummy costume rubs his gauzed hands together in anticipation. We have 2 choices, kid.
I don't know why that image is so funny to me with the bandages, like...
Oh, shoot, I got it tangled again. Hold on.
stuck together like a Chinese finger trap.
We have 2 choices, kid, Indy whispers. Make a grab for Gauzeface and try to take him hostage, or try to tilt that steaming pot and pour some hot sauce on him. The guards grab you by the shoulders and try to push you down onto the altar. How will you try to escape? Take the talking mummy as hostage, or try to pour the contents of the pot onto him?
Grab the mummy.
Yeah, grab the mummy.
All right, page 116. Just as Indy reaches for the falling mummy, a guard tries to push him down onto the stone altar.
Hold up.
The falling mummy?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Falling.
I'm going to go back and try to take the talking mummy as hostage. Turn to page 116. I don't remember anything about a falling mummy, but that is the page we're supposed to go to.
Okay. Maybe he tripped.
Yeah.
He can't see very well with all those bandages.
Yeah, he was trying to detangle his hands, and then his feet got, it was like, when you get your shoelaces tied together.
Yeah, maybe Marla's in there and she tied the shoelaces together. Run, Indy!
There we go. Just as Indy reaches for the falling mummy, a guard tries to push him down onto the stone altar. With lightning speed, he slams his elbow into the guard's throat. The guard staggers backwards. Indy picks up one of the large pots of lilies and tosses it at another guard. It catches him on the chest and he falls to the floor. Another black-robed guard draws a pistol. You dive into him and he cries out in response. The pistol sails across the altar. Good going, kid, Indy cries. Indy, look out, you yell. Indy doesn't see that the man in the mummy costume has an ancient ceremonial sword in his hand. The fake mummy reaches back his gauzed hand and plunges the sword deep into Indy's chest. Turn to page 4. On contact with Indy, the ancient sword crumbles into dust.
Okay.
Wow, very, very ancient.
Yeah. Indy and the fake mummy both stare at each other in disbelief. Then, Indy reaches forward and rips the gauze off the mummy's face. Dr. Salam, you
Yes!
cry.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Now you will surely die, Jones, Salam cries. My little explosion in fake blood didn't throw you off the track. Too bad for you. Salam, you don't mean to tell me you really believe this mumbo-jumbo about bringing mummies back to life, Indy says. What are you really up to out here? Before Salam can answer, you hear a deafening roar behind you. Startled, you turn around to see a 6-foot-high wall of water rushing through the chamber entrance.
Oh boy.
The water's up to your ankles before you realize what is happening. Turn to page 15.
Okay, hold up. In the other endings, Salam wasn't bad. He was genuinely being held hostage in the other room.
Or maybe he was pretending to be held hostage when everything broke bad.
Maybe. But they just ended it. They didn't, reveal that. You have to go down this ending.
There's no logic to this, actually. You're just supposed to guess till you get it right.
So in the other one, Salam got out. He just got away scot-free. Mm-hmm. Then goodness knows what he did with the rest of those mummies. Okay, let's see. Page 15. It's the Nile, like in the history books. It's flooding its banks.
Oh, I knew that was going to come up later.
Powerful foreshadowing right there. If you're lucky, maybe you'll see the Nile flood, kid. Here you are. How lucky.
Yeah.
Dr. Salam and his guards flee in panic. They try to run through the wave to the chamber doorway, but they are driven back by the powerful force of the onrushing water. I can't swim, Salam yells, the water already up to his waist. The mummies, Indy cries, seeing the precious artifacts being covered with water. He begins to wade through the rising water toward them. Then he stops. Maybe we'd be smarter to save ourselves. You must decide. Try to save the mummies first, or save yourselves before the water is over your heads.
I mean, millions of dollars, guys.
They're worth
Millions of dollars.
Yeah.
We gotta save the mummies.
Gotta save the mummies, yeah.
Those millions of dollars in cash. Turn to page 46. Quick, tilt the mummy cases back. Maybe they'll float, Indy yells. Two of you begin to push back the mummy cases, turning them into boats. The silent ancient passengers bob up and down, safe from the rising water. I don't see any mummy case for us to take, you yell. How good of a swimmer are you? Indy asks, the water up to his chest now. Not bad, you reply. Let's try to swim out of here, Indy yells. The deep water is swirling around the room. You cannot see Salam or any of the cult members. They must have drowned in the raging floodwaters. Trying not to think about them and the great conscience of the fact that you witnessed their final living moments, you heard their last words, trying not to think about any of that, you swim as hard as you can in the churning water. The waves keep pushing you back, but you don't give up. Suddenly, you see a mummy case floating several yards to your right. Is it empty? Will it carry you to safety? You are almost to the doorway. Maybe you should just continue swimming. Quick, make your decision. Do we keep swimming, or do we try to reach the mummy case?
Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
That is the Disney way. Mm-hmm. All right, let's turn to page 91. Just keep swimming. You are swimming harder than you've ever swum in your life. Your eyes are closed. You do not think about breathing, about seeing, about anything but pulling yourself forward. Slowly, the force of the water seems to weaken. Keep going, kid, Indy yells. The water's receding. We're gonna make it. Indy's right. A few minutes later, you are swimming outside the pyramid. Indy floats up beside you. We've made it so far, he says, but it's a long way back to town. We'll never make it the rest of the way. Mr. Jones, oh, Mr. Jones, you hear a female voice calling. It's Marla Evans.
There she is.
Dr. Jones.
Swooping in.
She's standing at the prow of a small barge, a barge manned by Cairo policemen. Mr. Jones, what on earth, she cries. We're just enjoying a swim in the local waters, Indy says as you both paddle over to the small boat. Did you bring the beach towels? She backs away as the two of you climb into the barge, your clothes filthy from the overflowing water and floating debris. Miss Evans, you have saved our lives, Indy says with a grin. How can I ever repay you? Just don't come near me, she replies quickly, holding a handkerchief up to her nose. The end.
I mean, that's better, I guess. We got the mummies out, right?
Yeah, we saved millions of dollars worth of ancient money.
Yeah, millions of dollars. That was the point of this book.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to try for just like one more ending though to see if we can get something a bit more dignified, perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of swimming, let's try going to the mummy case, page 117. You turn and swim towards the mummy case, which bobs and spins in the churning waters. You don't know whether Indy is behind you or not. With great effort, you reach the mummy case. You struggle to pull yourself up into its side. Not so fast, a voice yells. A figure sits up in the case. It is Salam. He stands up and begins to kick your hands, trying to loosen their grasp on the side of the case.
Okay, hold up. He was laying down mummy style in the case. And then, you swim up and he sits up. He's like, not so fast.
And then he
kicks you.
He starts kicking your hands from a seated position in the mummy case.
Oh, that's so great.
Using your last ounce of strength, you reach up and grab his leg and pull him into the water.
Ooh.
He begins sputtering and choking. Help! I can't swim! You pull yourself up into the case. Indy, you're here, you cry, seeing your cousin swim up to you. Indy grabs Salam by the neck in a lifesaver's grip, and he holds onto the side of the case with his other hand. I think we've just about done it, kid, he says as the mummy case carries the three of you out of the pyramid. Our job is just about done. What would you like to do to relax when we dump this clown off with the police and get back to Cairo? Anything but go for a swim, you reply, and you don't get any argument from Indy on that request. The end.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is the only ending where Dr. Salam gets justice.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good one. Let's see, what do we think? Do we keep trying a little bit more, or do we let this book find its dusty conclusion in whatever R.L. Stine sort of way he would say?
Let's keep going. Just a little bit more.
I got one more. One more.
One more. Okay, so we already tried saving the mummies. Let's try saving ourselves this time. Page 77. We don't have time to save the mummies, Indy cries. If we don't get out of here fast, we'll be underwater. You see a large wooden chest floating near the far wall. You make your way toward it, through water that's already up to your shoulders. You swim, then reach out until you grab onto the wooden chest. Nice going, kid, Indy says, swimming up to you. That looks like it should hold us both up pretty well. You look over and see Salam slinking under the water. It is the last time you will ever see him.
Oh, dang.
A few moments later, you are floating out of the pyramid. You and Indy hold on to the chest. It keeps you afloat as you guide it by kicking your legs. Hold on tight, kid, Indy says. The water's starting to recede. Just yell land ahoy if you see anything that looks dry. You look around. You don't see anything that looks dry. The river waters have flooded this entire low-lying area. Will you make it to land? Question mark. Turn to page 109.
I love all the questions.
All right. You float in the now still river for what seems like hours. The sun beams down on you. Your arms grow tired and sore. Finally, the wooden chest that holds you afloat comes to an abrupt stop. Land ahoy! You manage to croak. Indy looks as tired as you do. You both struggle to stand up. You're almost to your feet when your knees buckle. You fall forward, knocking the lid off the chest. Trying to regain your balance, you see something sparkling inside the chest. You pull it out and hand it to Indy, whose eyes grow wide with disbelief. The rubies of Ramses the Ninth, he exclaims in awe, holding the red jeweled necklace tenderly in his hands.
Oh, sick.
Kid, these jewels are worth more than all the mummies in Egypt. You mean we're rich, you ask? So excited that your weariness disappears and your knees stop wobbling. Not exactly, Indy says, still examining the ancient rubies. These jewels were on loan to the Cairo Museum. Salam must have stolen them. All that Culture from Mar nonsense was to keep everyone off the track. With everyone looking for stolen mummies, no one would notice that the jewels had disappeared, until it would be too late to track them down.
Oh.
Turn to page 111.
The real mummies were the jewels they stole along the way.
Yeah.
So that's what rubies look like, you say, watching them sparkle red and fiery in Indy's hands. I guess I'll have a few stories to tell the kids back home. I guess you will, Indy says as you start to walk towards town. Perhaps you could leave out some of the more exciting parts when you tell that story to your parents. That's okay, you reply. If I tell them, they won't believe me anyway. The end.
Okay, so that was the end.
There we
that
go.
That was the real ending.
Yeah.
That feels satisfying.
Yeah.
Whew, what a ride that was.
Boy.
That was a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say that was very cinematic.
I feel like we did uncover enough of the underlying plots that I feel like we've got sort of the full picture of what was going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shoot dang, we uncovered, we might have lost some mummies, but the only worth that those mummies had was their monetary value, and these jewels are worth more than all of the mummies in Egypt.
That's all that matters.
What we really came away from was the self-help that was also given to us at the end of every choice.
And so, listener, we want to leave you at the end of this book asking the question, will you make it to land? If you feel like you're afloat, adrift in the sea, just keep kicking on that chest with your cousin Indiana Jones and you'll be fine.
Yes.
If you feel trapped in an endless maze, remember, all animals fear fire.
Yes. And at the end of the day, don't do what Indiana Jones would do.
And that is a lesson we can all take with us to the grave when we are all inevitably mummified by the reign of the new pharaoh in New Egypt.
Yes.
Sounds fair.
Well, everybody, this has, in terms of the quality of the various Choose Your Own Adventure books that we've read, this one, pretty darn good, I would say.
That was pretty good.
Like, actually good entertainment value beyond just sort of a historic curiosity that we laugh at. It has felt very good to get back into one of these Choose Your Own Adventure books. We'll be back with more tension builders next week.
Yeah, we will.
And I believe you might hear more than just Caleb and I on that upcoming episode of people who are currently in this episode.
Some guest stars? Question mark? I don't know. Guess you'll have to tune in.
Yeah, you'll just have to wait to find out on page 8 of the Tension Builders.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, thanks for joining us for this wonderful romp in the world of Indiana Jones. And thanks again to Scott Giant Jr. for sending this book along our way. Until our next episode, I have been Ned Wilcock, your host and reader, and I've been joined by
Caleb Anderton. Thank you, Scott. The thanks are warranted.
Jay Porter, and I think I might be Indiana Jones again this Halloween. Who knows?
Much love and stuff, everybody. We'll catch you next time on Improv Tabletop. I'm just realizing they keep saying mummy cases. Isn't like sarcophagus? That's the word for that, isn't it?
So the sarcophagus is usually like the really big ceremonial ones, but what do you call like the smaller, like just regular mummy cases?
Okay, yeah, the stone coffin is the sarcophagus.
I was like, I keep wanting to call it like a coffin or something, but that's not right.
Huh. Here I am thinking I could actually this book, and I'm getting schooled.
You know what? All I'm finding is sarcophagus. So I think you're right.
Maybe R.L. Stine, back in 1985, was just racking his brain like, okay, it's not sarcophagus, but if it's not a sarcophagus, then the narrative that I've set up here doesn't make sense. Mummy case.
Yeah.
There we go.